This video will walk you through the entire process of Rising second year room selection, from completing the application to selecting your room. Students are welcome to go through this process as an individual or in groups of 2 to 6 people. There are a limited number of spaces for 6 people groups, so if there are too many, our office will notify the group leader about the need to split up into smaller groups. Our office will also walk you through how to create and join a group. Please be sure to pay attention to the timeline, deadlines, and other important details sent out in emails and available on advertisements throughout campus. Now, let's get started. There are a couple of ways to access the housing application. One way is through the main housing website at www.du.edu/housing. On the right-hand side, there is an Apply for Housing button. When you click on it, it will take you to a new page. You can click on the first link, go.du.edu/apply-for-housing, and enter your Pioneer Web credentials on the page that appears. Another way to access the application is through Pioneer Web. First, log into your account, and then click on the My Web tab. Next, click on the Student folder, and then the Housing and Meals folder. The first link, called Housing, will take you to the application. Changes to the application can be made until it is closed. Once you have successfully logged into the housing application, you will see this home page. Please click on Application, located up in the top left-hand side. We will be filling out the academic year application for the video. As a reminder, all first and second year students are required to live in university housing and subscribe to a meal plan of at least 100 block or higher. Rising second year students with approved accommodations from the Disability Services Program have 2 options. The first option is that these students can opt to select early before room selection as an individual into a space that meets their accommodation needs. In this option, no other friends can join these students in selecting early. The second option is that students with approved accommodations can still participate as a group with friends and work on getting their needs met through the room selection process with the general public. It is recommended that the student with approved accommodations be the group leader so that they can select the spaces that meet their individual needs first, followed by the group's needs and wants. After room selection, if the student with approved accommodations is unable to get their needs met, they can get on a wait list to be moved to a space that matches their specific DSP-approved accommodation needs. However, our office cannot guarantee that the rest of the group will be able to go with that student. As a reminder, approved accommodations only apply to the individual student they have been approved for and not to any other member of the group. The first page of the application is the welcome letter. After reading through this page carefully, you can click on the button below. The button will read Save and Continue. The second page of the application lists your personal details and emergency contact information. In this section here, you will notice that there is information listed for your birth gender and a drop-down menu for gender identity. Please make a selection in the drop-down menu for gender identity before proceeding to the next page. All gender housing is an option for Rising second year students, and there is an additional process for students wishing to participate. Please contact our office for more details. The information below will need to be up to date. Updates will need to be submitted through Pioneer Web under the Student folder. When you're done reviewing this information, please click the Save and Continue button at the bottom of the page. The next page is the photo upload page. You can choose to upload a picture of yourself or skip this step altogether. It's completely optional. Click Save and Continue. This page has a list of questions about your sleeping, smoking, and other habits. This information is pulled from your previous application on file. You can update this information if anything has changed. Then click Save and Continue. The Living Needs page has important information regarding emotional support animals, or ESAs. Please be sure to read this page thoroughly. There are 2 required questions on this page you need to answer. If you are allergic to an animal and need an accommodation for your living space, please contact the Disability Services Program, or DSP. Select your answers in the drop-down menu and click Save and Continue to move on to the Room Preferences page. On this page, a summary of the available buildings and rooms will be available. You can click on the links of the buildings to open pages on our website with more details and photos. Current room and board rates can be found under the Resources tab of the website, and the link is also included in room selection emails. You will need to select at least 2 building preferences before moving on to the next section. All first and second years are required to subscribe to a meal plan of at least 100 block or higher as part of the 2-year living requirement. First and second year students are eligible for the 100 block, the 125 block, and the unlimited plan unless approved to be released. Please visit the main housing website for the latest room and board rates and meal plan details. The rising second year room selection process, groups can have between 1 to 6 people. This page has instructions for creating both individual and larger groups. To create a group, select Join a Group and enter the group name and password. Creating a group will make you the group leader, which means you will be responsible for communicating with our office and assigning your group mates to rooms. Please be sure to remember your group name and password. Even if you are in a group by yourself, you will still need to create a group and will be the group leader. If another person is joining your group, they'll need the group name and password to add themselves to the group. An error message stating that your group is not valid will appear until you have confirmed your group. If you're in a group by yourself, you can skip ahead to confirming your group and move on to complete the application. Students also have the option of searching for roommates by selecting profile questions here. If you'll be joining a group, you can select the Add Yourself to a Group option. Enter the group name and password of the group you'd like to join. You can also remove yourself from a group and create your own if anything changes before the application closes. If the group leader needs to be switched from one person to another, please contact our office. Once you've successfully joined a group, the group leader will need to confirm you. You can continue on to the next page, the contract agreement. You'll also need to read through the contract agreement and familiarize yourself with the policies outlined in our Guide to Residence Living before submitting your application. Entering your DUID here means you've agreed to abide by the contract agreement and Guideline to Residence Living. Please be sure to submit your application fully before exiting. To confirm a group, you can go back to the page where you created the group. There will be an option to confirm. Even if you're in a group by yourself, you'll need to confirm yourself as a group. If someone has joined your group, you can see their information here. Once you have confirmed your group, you'll see a validation message. The next page will be the contract agreement page. You'll need to read through the contract agreement and familiarize yourself with the policies outlined in our Guide to Residence Living before submitting your application. Entering your DUID here means you've agreed to abide by the contract agreement and Guide to Residence Living. Please be sure to submit your application fully before exiting. Time slots are assigned randomly by lottery. The group leader can re-enter the application and go to page 8 for room selection anytime at or after the group's assigned time slot. If you are the group leader, you will need to select the building your group wants to live in. Then you can select the floor and room. There will be a map of the floors available next to the options listed on the page. You can also see how many people can fit in each room based on these numbers here. The number on the right indicates the total number of spaces available in that room. The number on the left shows the number of spaces currently occupied in that room. After selecting a room, you'll have a total of 5 minutes to assign yourself and your group mates to your respective rooms. Once you've submitted it, you should see a total of 3 bookings per person because there should be 1 for each quarter in the academic year. Click Save and Continue to confirm your assignment. Once the room selection process is complete, you'll receive another confirmation email from our office. If you need assistance selecting a room during the designated selection times, our office will have several staff members who can help you at the location listed in the email. If you have accidentally selected the wrong room and need to switch, please go directly to that listed location instead of our main administrative office for assistance. Our main office will not be taking any room change requests over the phone, via email, or in person. If you have any other questions or concerns, our office will be hosting a webinar and have drop-in hours scheduled. Dates and times for those sessions are included in the email communications. You can also email, call, or visit housing in person.